Hi, my beautiful friends. Welcome to my channel, Tropical Empress in Spirit. My name is Amanda. Hello, beautiful people. How are y'all doing today? I hope everyone is having a wonderful, lovely day. Today, I wanted to talk to y'all about a subject that came up during a live show I did on YouTube last night with a few other people. It comes, into the experience I had in my home a few nights ago where a spirit came to communicate with me and asking for my help. And it also goes into other parts of other experiences I've had and, people's religious beliefs. So I'm kind of going to cover a little bit of everything and share with y'all another experience I've had in recent months. So first, I want to say to y'all that, I'm a Christian, but I'm an open Christian, which means I'm open to every religion that exists, as long as that religion doesn't cause any harm to any person, living being, or animal. If it doesn't do that, I'm okay with it. I'm open to it. I'm the type of person who accepts other people for the way, for who and what they are. And that includes their religion. I welcome you with open arms. I'm not a judgmental person in that way. And, I'm also one of those people who sees people through their soul. Like, I'm not the one that's vain. I'm not a vain person, nor am I the type who's going to judge you if the, society, they have their own standards on, what's considered attractive and not. I'm not that type of person. I see people through their heart and their soul, not their exterior. I don't, that means, nothing to me. It's not going to make me like you or love you any different or any less. So what I wanted to talk to y'all about is the whole religious part of this, because a viewer had asked, a question about, being approached with, Christianity, and they're not a Christian, don't believe it, and don't want to have anything to do with Christianity, which that's fine with me. Like I said, I'm not going to judge anyone for their religious beliefs. I believe your religion, your beliefs, that's your personal decision. That's your personal choice. And I'm not going to be the one who's going to tell you that my God, is better than your God, deity, whatever it is you worship and believe in. I'm still going to love you the same, accept you the way you are in your religion. And I would always be open to wanting to hear more about your religion, to understand it, and, to see if what the similarities are and what the differences are, and, get into that deep conversation. I would want to know more. I'm not going to be the one that's going to throw the Bible in your face and say, no, you're wrong, it's this way and that way. I'm not that type of person at all. In fact, this is one of the reasons why I was making this video, because even as a Christian, I have problems with my religion in the sense of people who are deeply religious that go around and want to judge everyone. If they're not going to church, if they're not reading the Bible, if they're not praying, if they're out there, drinking, smoking, whatever. And it's like, no, okay, I believe that everyone has their own personal choice and they can choose to do whatever they want with their life. That's their life. And it's not up to me to judge right or wrong. That's only up to one person upstairs. And whatever you want to call them by, God, spirit, source, divine, or, maybe you just, worship a deity or angels. That's okay. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong. And I'm not going to judge you for what you choose to do and not do. It's completely wrong. And it pisses me off. It riles me up when I hear people go through and judge others for their religious beliefs or anything else having to do with their life, Does that mean I'm always going to agree with those choices that others make? Of course not. But am I going to hold it against them? No. As long as you're not hurting anyone intentionally, as long as you're not, breaking law, doing things that are bad, that cause harm and pain to others, I'm not going to be that person that's going to shut you out, ignore you, not want to have anything to do with you, that kind of thing. Because I do see that a lot with Christianity. Like, I have another social media account that I've had, I don't know, maybe it's like probably maybe about a year, a little less than a year. And my husband had talked me into opening it to share a lot of my, psychic abilities, my experiences, the paranormal, that kind of thing. Because he felt like a lot of people needed to hear what I had to say. And, and to let people know that it's okay if you feel, you have these psychic abilities, that you're not crazy and so on. So it took him probably over a year to talk me into doing it. But I finally did open up that account and I started sharing my personal experiences in the hopes that it would help someone else, because that's me. I'm a person that likes to help people and be there, to offer my assistance, guidance, be an ear, to talk to lean on, so on. Because I also understand what that journey, that path was like for me. When I first became aware of my psychic abilities when I was about 6, 7 years old, it scared the living daylights out of me. And I ran away from it. I wouldn't talk about it to anyone. And I mean for years. I didn't speak of it. It wasn't until I was 14 years old and I had a conversation with my maternal grandmother. And that was the first person I ever spoke to about it. Before then, I didn't talk to anyone. I kept it to myself and I ran away from it. I hid from it. And so on this website, on this other social media platform, the question I was asked is, do spirits hear us? And naturally, I already know that answer because I've experienced it. And so I answered it yes. And I shared with them my personal experience with my mama when I heard her voice, and also about my biological dad. And I think later I might have added a story with my stepfather, who I called daddy. But, there was a lot of people, and I'm still getting support on it, in fact. A lot of people, had liked it, and, a lot of people said they, believe me, or they agree, or they've had their own experience, and so on. But then I get those people who are deeply religious or who are atheists who come on there and want to say, no, that's the demon. Those are familiar spirits. You're, being, you're worshiping a devil. You're practicing, Satanism, or, crazy things like that. Or you get the atheists who say, no, there isn't no such thing as God and ghost and blah, 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 And those people, I shut them out. Okay, I will not entertain it. It's better for me just to ignore it. So I delete their comment and I block them. Because I'm not going to get all worked up into it, defending myself, when I know what I believe in my experiences and they just haven't experienced what I've experienced. So instead of getting into that low vibrational energy and getting myself all worked up about it, I ignore them. So I block them and I delete their comments. I will not even respond to them. And that's how I handle it. And so when it comes to people who may not be the same religion as you or may not believe the same as you, I walk a thin line. Okay, I will not ever go through and open that door to anyone when it comes to my religious beliefs or my psychic abilities, unless the topic comes up somehow. And then I feel around to find out what it is they believe. And depending on what they tell me depends on whether I will open up and tell them, about my psychic abilities and my experiences with it. Most times, I don't ever bring it up because, excuse me, in most cases, people are deeply religious and don't believe that, like, our loved ones can come down from heaven and visit us. They all believe, no, they're in heaven, or they're like in the ground waiting for Jesus to return, that kind of thing. So I won't even entertain that in conversation, because I already know that the way I believe, even though I'm a Christian, is not exactly the same as most Christians. And I'm not going to get into that conversation because no matter what I say to them, they're not going to be open to receiving and, maybe, taking a step back and reevaluating what their beliefs are compared to what my beliefs are and what my experiences are. And I also understand it in the fact that it's hard for people to believe in something they haven't experienced themselves. So I do give them, that hand of compassion. I understand why they don't. So all I can simply say to them is, well, I'm sorry, you haven't experienced what I've experienced. So I get it. I understand why you don't understand or why you think or feel and believe differently. And that's okay. I do get that part of it. And so, if you're going through that journey of trying to figure out what religion you want to entertain, or if you even want to be religious at all, because to me, you don't have to claim religion. You can be spiritual and do some things I do without claiming a religion. But, that's a personal choice for you. And do not allow anyone to tell you what is right and what is wrong. Only you have that answer. You decide for yourself what resonates. Because I'll tell you something else. And this is kind of what I was trying to get into. Earlier this year, my in-laws invited me and my husband to their church for Easter service. And so we said, sure, we'll go. And as soon as we got there, we were welcome. Everybody was very friendly, welcoming, open, and, this and that. And so we sat down for the service. And the pastor, first thing he starts talking about is politics. And I'm just like, oh, geez, no. Okay, can't do politics, okay? And it's specifically, he was, they worship Trump, you can say. And it's like, oh, no. Nope. So I already wanted to get to the door and be gone, And then he's, and I feel like politics has no place in church. And that's my personal views about it. And it doesn't matter. Even if they had brought up, someone that I would support and understand me, beautiful people. I'm not a political person. But if I had to identify a party, I would claim myself as an independent. Okay? But anyway, so after he brought up that, then he started talking about children who are choosing to have a sex change, who want to transition, and how that's against the Bible and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, no. See, you have no business even bringing that up either. Because to me, you are judging those kids or anyone else who wants to make that decision for themselves. You have no right. And that's exactly how I feel about it. So that made me feel more uneasy. And then he starts talking about what Easter is about. How everyone who passes away, not only are they buried, whether they're cremated or buried, but their spirit stays in the ground until Jesus returns. And right there, oh my gosh, beautiful people, I was so conflicted. I never felt more conflicted in my life when it comes to religion and being in church. I couldn't leave that place fast enough. Because I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, I almost opened my mouth too. I know that belief is incorrect, okay? Because I've already experienced being visited by spirits, human spirits who've already passed on, who've transitioned. I've had visits from my parents. I've had visits from friends. I've had visits from even spirits who I don't know. I didn't know them in this life, who may need my help. And I've also had experience with demons and angels. So for me, it's like, no, that's not right. I know it's not right. So I was so conflicted. And I almost opened my mouth to tell that pastor he was wrong. Okay? But I had to bite my tongue because I didn't want to embarrass my in-laws because it's their church. So I wasn't going to do that to them. But boy, I got to, I couldn't get out of that service fast enough. And so I came home and I was still thinking about church service and, everything the pastor had said and so on. And I'm trying to get out of that energy, like, reground myself to get, that wildness out of me, release it. And I tried sitting outside first, because Mother Nature always helps. But, my cat was out there, jumping on me, wanting my attention. And my other cat was out there wanting my attention too. And, there was birds flying around. And I think maybe even one of my in-laws were outside in the yard or something. So it's like, it was hard to kind of recenter myself. So I went inside and I turned my stereo on and I sat on the edge of my bed and I was just thinking about everything, everything that happened during that service and my beliefs and, what I was told and everything else. And one of the things that I did get told many years ago, after I had my very first angel experience, is that God in the Bible gives every single one of us a holy gift. It's the holy gifts of God. And one of those gifts is called discernment of spirit. Okay? And the way I was told and the way it was explained to me is discernment of spirit is for people like me that I can go through, I can look at someone and know right away if they're good or evil just by looking in their eyes. I can also know when, a person of the cloth is preaching something that is incorrect, which was kind of like what happened that service earlier that day. And then I can also see angels and demons. I have that ability. So, and I've seen both. So, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about that. And, just like, I know this pastor's wrong because of my experiences. And then what I was told. And like I said, I almost spoke up. But I had to, release it and not open my mouth so I didn't embarrass my in-laws. And it was hard to do because I'm a person, I speak up. I'm not going to stay quiet. If there's something I believe in, I'm going to say it, and I'll do it respectfully. But I'm going to stand up and I'm going to speak my truth. And I'm also going to defend myself and others who are like me, or believe the same way as I do. So, and that's what I felt like, and I felt like God wanted me to speak up, but I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. So I was going through, thinking about all that, sitting on the edge of my bed. And suddenly, the lamp on my nightstand flickers. It flickered 3 times. And I looked at it, and I'm like, okay. And I know there's, spirits here. And I felt my parents there too. And then, because I had turned my radio on, I heard one of the songs that always makes me think of my mama. And as and I'm sitting there and I'm realizing what's going on. It's like my loved ones who are in heaven, like my parents, are telling me I'm right. I'm right to believe the way I do, and I'm right to feel the way I do. And I was right to handle it the way I did, And then right after that, I see a white bird that looked like a dove, kind of like a spirit orb. But it was a white bird appear right in front of me and fly like right in front of, going past my bathroom door, and then it disappeared. So all of those was my loved ones on the other side, and my angels and my spirit guides telling me that yes, I was right to feel everything I felt and to handle it the way I did. So yeah, I could have spoken up, but like I said, I wasn't going to embarrass them. And of course, my husband told me, he was like, well, you could have gone up to the pastor and put him to the side and had a conversation with him. He was like, no. If I'm going to have a conversation, the whole congregation's going to hear what I have to say. okay? Because to go through and say something that I disagree with from my own experiences, and yes, they're my experiences, does that mean I'm always right? No. Does that mean I know everything? No. I will be the first person to admit when I'm wrong, okay? I don't have a fragile ego. You know, I'm a big girl. I got thick skin. I can handle it. But, you know, just the fact of what I was told, even before I walked into this church that day, by my own church that I went to for a few years, and they told me about the holy gift. I have discernment of spirit, because they even had me take a test to verify that their theory was right. And it came back. I have the gift, discernment of spirit, and the gift of knowledge. So I just, you know, I felt better about it after I got home, and after I got that, you know, sign from my, you know, loved ones telling me that, yes, I was right, and I felt them there, and that's what they were relaying to me. But does that mean that others who believe differently, believe in a different religion, that they're wrong? No. Because, beautiful people, here's the other thing about it. I believe every religion that exists, I believe it's partly right. I believe every religion has a little piece of that puzzle that is partly right. So maybe that's the other reason why I'm open to other religions, because when I've heard certain things, it's like, yeah, that resonates. So I believe every religion has its own, it has some truth in it. Is it all true? No, I don't believe so, but it's not all wrong either. And us as a society should be more open to wanting to dig our, you know, minds into other religions, you know, listening to others, getting to know people. Because, you know, one of the things that's beautiful, that I just think that above all else, if you believe in Jesus, you know, you don't have to believe he was, you know, the Son of God or anything like that, but the fact that he was here, you know, and, you know, being, you know, like a prophet or not, you know, it depends on what you want to believe. But I believe out of everything, you know, his teachings is to love everyone, accept everyone, for not just what we have in common and what our similarities are, but also what our differences are. Because that's what makes every single one of us unique and different. It is our perspective. It is our personal experiences we speak on. And it's also our gifts and talents and skills we share. And it's our good, you know, heart, you know, our love, you know, our kindness, our compassion, our empathy, all those different things. As long as you're a good human being and try and do right, not saying perfect, but do your best to do right, but also understand when you're, you know, you may do wrong, or it's like, no, I shouldn't have done that, and I feel bad, and I apologize, that kind of thing. No, I'm not going to hold it against anyone who chooses to believe differently or don't believe at all. I mean, I know someone right now who's an atheist, but also is a tarot reader. And that person, you know, I know that was a journey for her to go down. And, you know, does she believe there's a God? No, but she does believe in a higher being of some kind. Well, that's, you know, that brings it to a whole new level from being an atheist who don't believe in any of that, period. So I always have an open mind, and I'm open to listening and learning, because at the end of the day, I'm a lifetime student. I'm a lifetime student of life. I'm a lifetime student of spirituality and of everything else that's involved in our physical world here. You know, I'm never gonna, you know, be too old to learn or to know new things or to experience new things and so on. So, you know, could my beliefs change? Well, of course. My beliefs have, you know, changed over the years. Some good, some maybe not so good. Depends on, you know, your perspective and what you personally believe. But I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to judge you for it if it's different from me. I can respectfully agree to disagree. And I think that's where emotional and mental maturity and spirituality really comes to the surface. Where we can, you know, Be respectful of each other. Still have our friendship, you know, whatever that tie is. But also, you know, understand, okay, well, you don't believe that way. Okay, you know, I still love you anyways, you know, and be respectful of that. And that's all that we should do, is be good people, be kind, be loving, be compassionate, be empathetic, and be respectful. You know, a lot of that's missing in this world. It's chaotic. And I think if more people had experiences like mine, you know, where they, you know, have seen a ghost or a spirit, you know, whichever word you want to use, or they've heard, you know, a spirit speak to them, like I've also have, or, you know, they've had some of my other psychic abilities, you know, but more specifically in the spiritual realm, you know, going into like mediumship type, I believe a lot more people would be more open, more caring, more loving, and there would be more kindness, and there wouldn't be such a harsh judgment that I find, you know, among, you know, the world, the universe, you know, on our planet. And when it comes to religion, I have a problem with some parts of my religion. And just as much as I have a problem with, I don't believe the Bible is 100% accurate. Okay, I believe there's a lot of things in there that contradicts each other. And the other problem I have with it is the Bible is not complete, because there are pieces of the Bible that's missing that the Catholic Church withheld, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Book of Enoch, and so on. So, no, you're not going to give me part of the story. You're going to give it all to me. If we're supposed to worship and believe this way, if you believe in, you know, if you're a Christian, guess what? Give it all to me. So I don't like that. I don't like that the Catholic Church has done that. So to me, that's a sin against God. But I can't judge them for it. They're going to have to answer for it one day, as we all are. Good, bad, indifferent. So, beautiful people, do what feels right to you, what resonates with you. And don't allow anyone to shove a religion down your throat. Okay? And I don't care if it's my religion or another. Don't allow it. If it doesn't resonate with you, speak your truth and stand up and say, I'm sorry, but I don't believe the same way as you. I disagree. But I can respectfully disagree and we can still be friends. That's how it should be handled. Not going through and throwing sticks and stones at each other and calling people devil worshippers, you know, you're going to hell, or whatever else people out there in different religions want to say and do. I don't believe in that. I have a huge problem with it, like I said, and I will stand up and defend anyone who does that, because I'm not afraid. You know, I also said on my other, you know, social media website, when I answered that question, I said, listen to me. I'm a strong person, both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And understand me. Let me make myself clear, and I'm only going to speak this one time. And I typed it up, and I said, I don't care that you think I worship the devil or anything like that, because I know that's not true. And I know I'm not going to hell either. Oh, and let's see. You know, and this is my sarcasm that's coming to play. It's like, yeah, okay, if I do go to hell, it's like, well, that's up to me to decide, not you. Because you're not up there. You're not sitting in that chair, okay? And I also said I'm not afraid to stand alone. I will stand alone, because I'm going to stand up for me and my beliefs. And if that means I stand alone, well, I stand alone. But I'm strong enough to do that, and I'm not afraid. That's how strong I believe in what I believe in and what my psychic abilities and experiences have told me and shown me. So a lot of people shut up at that point, because I think they realize no matter what they say, they can't get to me. They can't, you know, poke at me to get me upset, because I won't allow it. And no matter what they say, you're not going to change my mind right now. You know, will you ever? Doubtful. Because of my own experiences. That's me. And I'm not going to force that on anyone else. But don't you dare force yours on me either. We can have a civil conversation without shoving each other's religious beliefs or any other beliefs down each other's throats. And that's the difference of it. But I see so many religions that want to go through and pull out their book and preach all day long. And it's like, oh my goodness, sweet Jesus, help me here. And I've had those people come to my house too. Like Jehovah Witnesses. Oh, they're relentless. At my old house, at least once a week, doorbell. I looked through my window, I was like, oh crap. And I remember I made a joke one time, probably a couple of times actually, to my, family. It's like, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to open that door and I'm going to have a cauldron sitting in front of them and I'm going to have a skull hanging on my door. Something ridiculous like that. Just, like, leave me alone. Trying to scare them. It's like, go bother someone else. But they are relentless. So, but I'm stronger than they're relentless. You're not going to get to me like that. So, beautiful people. And I had someone ask me a question too, real quick. Someone asked me about what they should do if they feel they're having a ghost in their home that's, haunting them or bothering them, but they don't believe, they don't feel like they're saved by God, so what do they do? How do they handle without pissing off the ghost that's there? Well, I'm going to tell you, okay? I'm not going to tell you to go, ask, Jesus in your heart, okay? I'm not going to do that, okay? That's up to you to decide which religion you want to choose, if you want to choose a religion. But at the minimum, call on your guardian angels and call on your archangels and ask them for their help to rid you of the spirit that's in your home. And then get some sage, white sage and Palo Santo, and go through your whole house with it. Open up the windows and tell them they are not welcome here anymore. This is your home and they need to leave. And they need to leave right now. So that's my advice to you on that. So I understand the fear. You're going to piss off the spirit. What I would be curious about though is if, the spirit that's in your home, is it possible it's one of your loved ones that's trying to get your attention? Because beautiful people, understand me. 9 times out of 10, when you get a haunting, it's not like the haunting like you see in Hollywood, that scares you, like some kind of demon or whatever. 9 times out of 10, it's a loved one trying to get your attention. They want to let you know they are there and they are okay and that they are watching over you. So, it might scare you. I get that. I get for many people, any kind of paranormal experience would scare anyone. I was there. Understand me. I've had them since I was a little girl, so I get it. But first, I want you to ask yourself and try calmly. Think it through. Don't get scared. Don't allow that fear to creep in, and feel. What does your intuition tell you? Like, close your eyes and focus. What does your intuition tell you? Does it tell you it's a loved one or a guardian angel or a spirit guide, or does it tell you it's a complete stranger you don't know? Maybe someone that died on the property. I don't know. But those are the questions I would ask. So I wouldn't be quickly to say, it's a bad spirit, okay? If you don't want to hear from your loved ones, okay, that's fine too. Tell them, please leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered. Then they will. Okay? You got to put up those boundaries stuff and tell them what it is you want and what you expect and what you ask of them and what you don't want. And they'll listen. It might take a couple times, but that's just something you got to think about and consider before you just go through and automatically say it's some other ghost of, someone you don't know, or, something worse than that. Because, like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's a passed over loved one trying to connect to you. So just think about that, sweetheart, okay? But I'm going to close it here, beautiful people. I just wanted to share that with y'all. I think it's something that, something needed to be spoken about since I got into religion last night. And someone had asked that question, which I thank you for the question and asking it. I admire your strength and courage to want to ask that question, open that conversation. Like I said, we're a very open and loving community on YouTube. And so, we're not going to judge you, whether it's my religion or another religion. We're open to each other. I mean, several people on YouTube are pagans. Do I hold that against them? No. Do I look at them differently? No. Okay? Do I automatically say, oh, you're, a devil worshiper? Hell no. Because I know that's not true either. And it's not saying that there aren't those that exist, but the ones I know are not that way. And so I'm open to them, their religion, who they are, and I'm opening to listening and learning more about it, because I don't know that much about it. I mean, I don't know, like, even my own religion, I haven't read the Bible front to back, so I don't know everything that's in there. All I can tell you is what I have read, I disagree with, and I see where it contradicts each other, and I have a serious problem with that. Just like I said before, I have a serious problem with the Book of Enoch not being in there, and the Dead Sea Scrolls. And God only knows what else is missing that our race and our generation hasn't uncovered yet. So, just something to think about, beautiful people. So, but I'm going to end it here. I'm wishing y'all so much love and so much happiness, so much joy, and all the beautiful things in this life we all want and deserve. And that includes you, beautiful people. And if you like my content, like my videos, if my energy resonates with you, please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And please like and share it so that these messages can reach other people who may need to hear this right now. Because the whole goal of this channel is to help empower you and others, to be that voice, to help you, maybe to, walk through that path. Maybe you're confused, whatever that is. Or maybe you enjoy just hearing my stories and my experiences. And, when I read cards, So, but just please, if you want to leave me a comment, go ahead. I will read your comment. I love hearing from you all. So I do read them. It's just, give me some time to get to it. But I will at least go in there and like it and let you know I read it. So, all right, my beautiful people. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. Until next time, be good.